All right, this is 5th grade, Module 3, Lesson 6. We're going to continue subtracting fractions. We're going to continue using that area model. And the only thing that's different this lesson is we're going to be subtracting where that first number is going to be somewhere between 1 and 2. So it might look like something like 1 and 1/3 minus 4/5, because that first number here is going to be between 1 and 2. But it also might look like, well, in this case, it might look like 4/3 minus 4/5. So now it's a little harder to see that it's between 1 and 2 because it's an improper fraction, but at least you know it's greater than 1. So these are the two kinds of problems that we're going to be subtracting in this lesson. So this problem is from the teacher notes, all right? So if you're a parent watching this video, you won't find this in your students' work. But this is for the teachers and for the parents, really, to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing, because this is going to look different from anything you might have experienced when you were a kid. So to model this, what we're going to do is we're going to draw 1 3/4, all right? And we need 2 rectangles, and I'm trying to make them identical. And because, so this is our 1, and then this is going to be our 3/4, so that means we have to cut it up into 4 pieces. There we go. And then shade in 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. Now this right here is a 1 whole, so technically we should shade that one in as well. So I'm going to shade that whole thing in. So there we go. So there's our 1 3/4. Now we're supposed to subtract 4/5. All right. Now if I wanted to, I would draw another rectangle way over here to show you what 4/5 would look like, and of course we would do it horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would shade in 4/5. So let me shade in 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 4/5. All right. But we're going to do a little bit of shorthand here, because what we're going to do is we're going to quit drawing this one, and we're just going to do it on top of the original, that first number. I can never remember if that's the minuend or the subtrahend, but whatever, we're going to do the first number. All right, so I'm going to cut each of our area rectangles into fifths. There is fifths, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fifths. All right. Now, this first rectangle here, I want to cut it into fourths as well, just so that we can see what we're talking about. There's our fourths. So now you can see that 1 3/4, we could think of it as being, let's see, let's count. We've got 20 pieces here, and then I'm going to count 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So we could think of this as 35/20, and we're going to subtract 4/5. Well, if you think of what 4/5 is going to look like, it's going to be 4 of these strips right here. So 4/5 means we're going to subtract out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to subtract out 16/20, and in doing that, we end up with, oh goodness, I don't know what the answer is, 19/20. Now, how do we know that it's 19/20? Well, we can count the remaining. We could count, say, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there's our 19/20ths. Okay, so that's one way we could have done it. Now another way we could have modeled this, and I'm going to rewrite this down here, except I want to do it in black. Okay, so we're going to do 1 3/4 minus 4/5, and I'm going to scroll. Okay, now we're going to start by drawing those area rectangles again. So there's our 1 and 2, and I'm trying to make them identical. And I'm going to draw them in fourths, because cut them into fourths because the fraction says fourths. So even though this is one whole and this is the 3/4, I'm going to cut everything into fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now I'm going to shade in. Here's my whole, 3/4 right here. There's my 3/4. And then here's my one whole. Now another way that we can show what's going on is, okay, so if we're going to subtract our 4/5, right? So I need to cut everything into fifths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now we can see that 1 3/4 becomes 1, and if we counted those, it would be 20ths. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 20ths. And we're going to subtract out 4/5. Well, what does 4/5 look like? Well, 4/5 is going to look like, it's going to have a denominator of 20, so it's going to be 16/20ths. All right, so we're going to subtract out 16/20ths. So one way we could do it is you could take this 1 15/20ths. I'm going to write it down here. 1 15/20ths, take away 16/20ths. So another way you could do it is, we know we're supposed to take away 16. So I'm going to, these 16, well, if I take away 15 of them, that makes this go away. But then we're left with just 1/20th remaining that we still have to subtract out. So now we have one whole, take away 1/20th, and that equals 19/20ths. So that's another way we could have subtracted this problem. So the point is, there's a lot of different ways to subtract these two fractions, and I've shown you right now only 2 ways. And in the future problems, I'm going to see if I can kind of mix it up and show you even more ways that you can think of how to subtract these subtract fractions. All right, so we're going to continue using the area model to subtract our fractions, because that's what it says to do. Now 3/2 right here, 3/2, that's going to look like, there's 2/2, and then there's one more half. So here's 2/2, which is one whole, and then here's one more half. So there, right here, is our 3/2, and it says to take away 5/6. So since we're going to take away 5/6, what that means is we need to cut them into 6 pieces. Oh my goodness. So we're going to go this way, and we're going to cut it into 6 pieces. And there's 6 equal sized pieces, and then we're going to cut this into 6ths. All right. Now 5/6 we can see is right here. So 5/6 is, 5/6 is right here. 5/6. So if we want to take away those 5/6, we could just cross them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I just took away 5/6, and so what do we have left over? Well, we just have to count. So we're going to count. There's 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's our 8. And what is it? What's the denominator? It's going to be 8/12. So I can write that down, but I'm going to write that down right here. But what did we do? Well, we took our 1 whole, which is right here, and we took this, and this 1 1/2, this 3 halves, and we changed it to, let's see, we got 12 pieces over here, plus 6 more pieces here, so that's 18. So we got 18/12. And we took away, let's see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we took away 10/12. So we took away 10/12, and that gives us 8/12. And because we know how to simplify fractions, that's 4 times 2, and this is 4 times 3, so that is equal to 2/3. So our final answer is 2/3. Now that's one way to do this problem. There's others, but I'm showing you just one. So on this problem, same idea. We're going to use a rectangular model, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw 1 2/5. And there's our 1 whole and 2/5. So I'm going to cut everything into fifths. And now we're going to shade it in. So 2/5 is right here. 1, 2. And then this whole, we're going to shade in this whole thing. So there is our 1 whole and 2/5. Now, because we're going to subtract 3/4, that means we need to cut, going horizontally, we're going to cut it into fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3/4 is this much right here. And so if we wanted to, we can change this to, let's see, 1 whole and 8/20. So, because if we wanted to count this, we could see this is still 1 whole, but this becomes 8/20. And then we're going to subtract out 3/4. Well, 3/4 is this much right here. All right, and 3/4 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be 15. So it's going to be 15/20. And if we're going to cross out those 3/4, so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just crossed off 3/4. And so really, if you wanted to think of it this way, you could think of, and I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to zoom in and change this to 20/20 plus 8/20. And when we take the 20/20 and we subtract the 15/20, that's going to give us 5/20 left over. And so that's going to give us 5/20 plus over here our 8/20 still sitting there. And because here's our 5/20, and I'm going to make this green. So here's our 5/20 plus our 8/20 left over. And so the answer is whatever 5 plus 8 is. So 5 plus 8 is 13/20. So that's another way to get our answer. So the answer here is 13/20. And the last problem for this slide, this video, is a word problem, of course. Okay, so Jackson had 1 3/8 kilograms of fertilizer. He uses some fertilizer on his flower bed, and now he has 2/3 left over. How much fertilizer was used in the flower bed? So we're going to draw a tape diagram to make sure we understand what's going on. He had 1 3/8, that's our total. Now he used some, we don't know how much he used, but we know that he has 2/3 left over, 2/3 of a kilogram left over. And I'm not trying to draw this so that it's all proportional and stuff. And I'm just drawing it to make sure I understand the problem. And I can see that the problem is definitely a subtraction problem. So we have 1 3/8 minus 2/3. So now it's time for us to draw our model. So here's my 1 and 2. So there's my two area rectangles. And here's, this one's going to represent the 1. This one's going to represent the 3/8. So we're going to cut those into eighths. So first I'm going to cut them into quarters. Then I'm going to cut it into eighths. First I'm going to cut it into quarters. And then I'm going to cut it into eighths. And then we are going to shade those in. And so shading 3/8 over here is pretty easy. 1, 2, 3/8. Alright. And now over here we're going to just shade in the whole thing. And I'm going to go kind of fast. Alright. So there's our 1 whole and our 3/8. Now, in order to subtract 2/3, of course, we're going to use my red, and we're going to cut it into thirds. Boom, boom. And now, here's my 2/3 right here, so I can get rid of those, because I'm supposed to subtract them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So really what I'm doing is I took my 1 whole, which turned into 24/24, and then I still have that 3/8. But now I'm going to subtract out 2/3. Now 2/3 is 16/24, because that's how many I chopped off over here. And so 24 minus the 16, so 24/24 minus the 16/24 leaves me with 8/24 right here. Plus, I still have the 9/24 sitting over here. So my answer is 17/24. That's how much was used in the flower bed, is 17/24 kilograms. Whew, this was a long video, but that was Grade 5, Module 3, Lesson 6, using the area model to subtract fractions.